Hello students, welcome back to my channel Lightup Knowledge and very warm welcome to today's video. I hope you all are doing well. In today's video, we will study about metonymy. So metonymy is a figure of speech. There's a separate playlist of literary forms and devices on my channel, the link of which will be available right in the description box. And we will discuss this topic from the basic to advanced. We will study the meaning and the associated examples drawn from basic to the advance of the topic, and I will explain you those examples, and I will give you techniques of recognitions as well. So I urge to all my students to watch this video completely, as a part miss can cause an incomplete understanding, which I am sure no one wants. So without any further ado or delay, let's jump right into the video. So the word metonymy is of Greek origin, which means change of name. Let us understand the meaning of the word metonymy. So basically the word metonymy, as I told you earlier, is of Greek origin and it means that change of name. We substitute a name for the attribute or a thing, okay, which and that particular word is closely associated in the meaning with that word. In metonymy, the literal term, that is the actual term that we are addressing for one thing, is applied to another with which it has become closely associated because of recurrent relation in common experience. So there are some things with which we associate some things, and then eventually when you apply those words and associate those words continuously in a long span of time, these words become the substitute recognition of these words, right? So you substitute a word for something with which that word is closely associated, right? So you are designating an object by the name of something with which we generally associate, right? So it is a figure of speech in which an attribute or a thing is substituted for the thing itself, right? If you look at the example, you will understand better. It is based on the theory of association. Okay, you associate a word for a word with which it is closely associated. The first example is the crown has arrived. So the crown here is used for the king. The king has arrived. So crown is worn by the king, so we associate that attribute or that object with the king. Okay, so that it becomes metonymy. The word crown is metonymy for king. The next example is I enjoy watching Hollywood. When you say that you enjoy watching Hollywood, you mean that you enjoy watching films. So Hollywood, Bollywood are closely associated with films. The next example is I have read all the Milton. I have read all of Milton means you have read all the works of Milton. So I hope you understood what metonymy is. Doing examples helps us to understand a topic, especially in literature, in a very practical way. You are able to basically recognize through reading examples, right? So the first one in our list is you must address the chair. You must address the chair. So you are not addressing the chair, you're not associating the chair, but here chair means the chairman. The next is here chair is metonymy. Next is a full purse never lack friends, right? So a rich man, a person who is very rich, so a full purse is a rich man, so he never seems lack of friends. Next is the pen is mightier than the sword. So now here pen is not mightier, okay? Here the word is mightier than the sword. The next one is grey hairs should be respected. Here grey hairs does not mean actual grey hairs. Grey hair is representing a community. It is representing the community of old men. The next one is he is loyal to the crown. So the person is loyal not to the crown, the physical crown, but he is loyal to the king. The next one is he has got a laurel. So here laurel, what does laurel means? Laurel means success. So he's got the success. The next example is he is a good hand at composition. So he is at good hand at composition means he writes very well. So good hand means a person who writes very well, who has a good literary sense. The next word is he drank the cup. It does not mean that he drank the cup. How can a person drink a cup? It means that he drank the contents of the cup. The next example is Okay. Ninth is the kettle boils. Here, the kettle is not boiling. The contents kept in the kettle boils, like the water or the milk, etc. The next example is the bar will give its decision. So here, bar is not the physical bar. Here, bar represent a team of lawyers who will give its decision. The next example is 11th. The house will be in session soon. So here the house is not representing a actual house like your house or my house. No, it is representing parliament. So the parliament will be in session soon. The next example in our list is I was reading Shakespeare. I was reading Shakespeare. You cannot read Shakespeare, right? This entity represents something different. This attribute is representing the works of Shakespeare. Okay, so he was reading one of the works of Shakespeare. The next example is from cradle to the grave, from birth. Okay, when a person is born, he's put into cradle to the grave where he finally rests. So from birth to death, from cradle to grave. The next is the plow is the base on which human society rests. So here plow is representing cultivator or cultivation. So the human life is based on primarily based on agriculture. That is also is a primary occupation. So that's the thing. So the next example is oh, for a beaker full of warm south. So here wine is described by warm south. So warm south represents wine, that is the warm sun of the south which ripens for grapes for which the wine is produced. So therefore warm south represent wine. So that was all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you found it useful. If you did, please consider liking it and subscribing it and sharing with all your friends and family who share the same topic with you. Keep learning and keep growing.